do you personally, like, what are your thoughts on where it all begins? Do you believe in a God, or what, are you unsure?
Well, there's a lot of definitions of what God is, right?
Yes.
That is it some dude sitting on a throne, ruling over everybody? It's like, oh, here, have a lightning strike. I don't know. I think that there is certainly a conscious force that might be self-aware of its own larger scale, but is that the same exact thing that we define as God? Or is it this kind of collective energy of who knows, like a sea of love that was everything before there was anything? I mean, obviously, the contemporary thinking, even among scientists, is that physical reality springs from consciousness, not the other way around. And we explore that in the movie. If consciousness sprang from reality, then that would mean that physical reality is the root of existence. And we're finding out scientifically that that's not the case. And the most ancient religions teach us the same thing. All of them, even biblical religion teaches us that this world is an illusion. And it's stated very clearly. So if consciousness doesn't spring forth from this world, then it springs forth from somewhere, which is this sea of conscious energy. If you want to call that God, you can call that God. I call it God sometimes. I'm not saying, I'm just not sure that there's like we're getting so much attention that, can you imagine if every aspect of our lives, and it goes back to whether we're making conscious decisions or not, how much supervision would it take to supervise whether you're going to buy a Sprite or a Diet Coke? And keep that under consideration and keep tabs of it, so that we can sentence you to hell when it's all over.
But you're thinking about it in terms of time and effort when that may not exist at that level of spiritual consciousness.
Well, I think consciousness, is all it is. Just like in the very beginning of the first books of the Bible, I am that I am. And so if you want to call God the sum of all conscious energy that we are all a part of, I don't think that's in any diametric opposition to what even the Bible teaches us. So do I believe that there's a God? Of course. You can't believe that you survive the life of your physical body without believing there's something else.
Do you think so? Do you have any opinions on what happens when you die? Guesses?
There seems to be a pretty good body of evidence that consciousness survives death, and that a lot of people have, these experiences that are all very similar. Through the near-death experiences, the people that come back tell very similar stories. So, do I believe that when I shut my eyes for the last time on this planet, that there's no part of me that's ever going to exist again? Not for a minute. I'm totally convinced.
I think I'm with you.
I'll tell you something. We were talking about the multiverse thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
This guy came up with this thing called quantum jumping. His name was Burt Goldman, and it's about 20 years ago that he was making the rounds with his thing, just like a metaphysical thing that you're doing. So his theory that he would say to people is that there is another version of you existing in multiple realities, which you're kind of talking about, and that these realities all exist. Now, Burt Goldman said that you can quantum jump, that through certain meditation techniques and certain mental exercises and certain visualization exercises, you can actually connect with these other versions of yourself, and you can bring something back from them. Okay?
Is this like Man in the High Castle type stuff, if you ever saw that?
Yeah, kind of.
Read that?
Yeah. Okay. But he's saying that you can do it for real. And he pointed to the fact that he was not a painter, and he started using this technique, and all of a sudden he could paint, because there was another version of him that could paint. So about the time when the pandemic hit...
Come on, 12-inch dick, let's go.
Well, that's quantum jumping on steroids. Damn, it works.
Come on. Grow.
Shit.
I'm sorry. I couldn't let that one go.
Damn, and I was using it for something else. If that worked, we just have a... Who cares about painting?
That was good.
Yeah, that was
Anyway, quantum jumping, you were
All
talking
right,
about the painter. Stick with the less sexual example.
That he was able to come back from another reality with some of the talent from his other version of himself. And I've thought that was kind of interesting. When the pandemic hit, when I was a kid, I thought I was going to be a rock star. I was all about music. And then my instruments got ripped off. I ended up having to leave home at a young age, and the whole thing got sidetracked. But during the pandemic, I picked the guitar back up and decided to start doing it. Well, I've been playing this quantum jumping thing. I've been doing some of the exercises, okay? In less than 2 years, I've gone from barely being able to play the guitar. I believe that there's another version of myself that made a go of music, and I've been trying to tap into that. And the progress I've made is off the charts. I'm getting ready to go out as a professional singer. I'm in a band that is being formed, and I'm getting ready to cut an album at 60.
Where the fuck do you have time for this? This is amazing.
Well, when I finished the movie, I decided to spend some time on music. So,
wow.
But I've been actually doing these exercises, and sometimes, like, I've got a singing coach, and she'll come over and we'll be doing stuff, and she's like, "It should have taken you 6 months to get to that point. You did it in a week." And this is happening. It's happening to me right now, and I'm doing those experiments with connecting with yourself. I don't know if it works, but I've made a conscious effort to get in touch with this other part of me, and I'm getting better, because at my age, not doing music your whole life,
oh, it's hard.
You have to be able to. You're either going to have to make miraculous progress or give it up, and I'm making some pretty serious progress.
That could be. I wonder if that's like a serious self-belief based on believing in that this could exist, or if it's a combination of both. But either way, that's pretty trippy. Quantum jumping.
Quantum jumping. I'm not saying that it works. I'm not saying there's anything to it.
No, I hear you.
I'm just saying that as a musician, I've made probably 10 years progress in 2 years.